I went to see Sonic 3 in cinemas twice, and I've come to the conclusion people don't teach their kids how to behave in cinemas anymore. The first time I had this kid sat behind me, he kept kicking the back of my seat and he kept speaking in a different language, so I couldn't even know what he was saying, which also kinda... So basically, because I didn't know what he was saying, I couldn't actually tell him to be quiet because I didn't know if he spoke English or not. And at least that time was my first viewing, so it was probably more annoying. But then I went the other day, and I had this other kid sat behind me. And it was probably worse, this kid, because while he wasn't kicking the back of my seat, he had his parents with him, or at least he had his mum with him, and she did keep telling him to be quiet. Except for as the film went on and he kept talking, she didn't tell him to be quiet anymore. In fact, it got worse. The best moment of that cinema experience was when he came back from the toilet and his mum accidentally knocked his drink over. The despair in that kid's voice. You could tell that he was genuinely upset. I wasn't. That's what the kid deserves. You're going to ruin my experience. You're going to lose your drink. Good day. I saw something annoying a few minutes ago, so I'm going to talk about it because... Content! Alright, let's discuss. It's this. I don't like it for so many reasons. Why would you put Sonic Boom in second? No! We've had Sonic Prime. We've had Sonic X. So, in fact, even the original cartoons are better than Sonic Boom. Now, yes, Sonic Boom's a good cartoon if we're just looking at the cartoon and not the video games that went along with it. But it's still not great. But, based on what I've seen, I guess I'd put Sonic Boom in fourth. Then I'd put Sonic Underground. I don't think it should be at the top. Not seen enough of it yet again. It's got the best theme tune though, I'll give it that. Best theme song. It was still in the era where cartoons had good theme songs. It was really good. Okay. And then we'd have Sonic Prime. Not seen much of it, but from what I have seen, it's actually really good. I like Sonic Prime. But then it would have to be Sonic X at top. Anyone who disagrees doesn't know what they're on about. Sonic X was brilliant in the way that it would tie in with what was happening in the games, and it had multiple different story arcs, and that, I guess the dubbing for the rest wasn't great, but it was so good. That's what a Sonic anime should have been. And that's what it was, because that was the only Sonic anime we've had. Good day. I'm going to complain about the same thing I complained about in yesterday's video, because I found another tier list for Sonic cartoons. And I disagree with it. Let me show you why. Is Sonic Boom really worthy of being second? Why do people like this series so much? I get it, as a cartoon it worked, I guess. It had a good art style, it had good comedy. It was a good cartoon. But as a Sonic cartoon, I don't think it really worked all that well. I didn't like the character designs. The games it tied into were dreadful. They portrayed Shadow the Hedgehog terribly. That loses its points in my head because he's the best Sonic character. At least they didn't mess up his character design. But still, as a Sonic cartoon, this is terrible. I don't see why people like it so much. Good day. So this is what I do now. Okay, if you've not seen my last two videos, I've been viewing people's tier lists, going off what they think the best Sonic cartoons are in what order. But now we have one with the games, more specifically the 3D era of the games, or at least the mainline ones. They've skipped out Forces, but we all skip out Forces. Either way, it's a tier list and I'm not a big fan. Let's talk about it. This is the tier list I'm talking about. Let's review it. Unleashed at the top. That game does not deserve to be at the top. Not at all. I mean, yeah, the mixing gameplay of where you'd be like normal Sonic in the day and then you'd become the Werehog at night and get to break things, okay. Also, I like the fact they also skipped out 06. I mean, between 06 and Forces, 06 is the one I'd rather play. But neither of them are great. Shadow Generations in second, I don't know, it's still fairly new. Guess I've not played enough of it, I don't know enough about it, and it was only released alongside the Generations remake. But I don't know, I wouldn't put it top 3 just because I've not heard enough about it, but I've heard it's alright. Sonic Generations in third, yeah, I'd say decent game, deserves top 3, probably only going to be in 3 though. Sonic Frontiers, okay, I only have just started playing this one. I found it to be really fun so far. I'd say, yeah, either 2, 3, as you know, 2 because Generations would be in 3. Then Colours. Don't know enough about it, so I'd leave it there. Yeah, no problem there. Adventure 2 in last. No, why would we put Sonic Adventure 2 in last? There was the team mechanic. You could play as so many different characters. It introduced Shadow the Hedgehog. How can you put it in last? Good day. Okay, let's talk about the TikTok US ban. Once the app's actually banned in the US, if it happens, it will be taken off the Play Store, the App Store, anywhere you can get apps, meaning that if you already have it downloaded, you can still use it for a time. It will also eventually stop receiving updates if the app's taken off App Store and Play Store. You will no longer get updates to the app, so eventually it will break, meaning that the app will be rendered useless and you'll not be able to use it anymore. And I hate to say it, but once it's banned in the US, that's a whole percentage of the actual people who use TikTok gone. I don't think it will last that long without the US. I think we have about a year maximum before they announce it being shut down globally. That doesn't mean it will have a year left of being active all over the world, but that's a year until they announce it. Once they announce it, we'll probably get another 4 to 6 months grace period being able to use the app. Basically, what I'm saying is please go to other platforms if you can. If you're a content creator, I'd recommend you move into YouTube or, I guess, Instagram. Can we agree on what platform we're planning on moving to, please? Good day.
Feels like a movie written by babies for babies. They're some of the unfunniest movies I've seen.
You compared the Sonic films to the Michael Bay films. The Michael Bay films, anything that man makes is soulless. He makes films for the bare minimum, to make a profit. Every film that man's made has been average. We had 2 good Transformers films, and then Megan Fox left, so he replaced her, didn't properly explain it very well. And then we moved on to a new story in the 4th and 5th, which no one actually cared for. That led to him losing his job. He could not make any good films. He also made Ninja Turtle films. They also weren't great. That man couldn't make a film that people wanted to see. He made soulless cash grabs, and the only thing he could do well was make a good soundtrack. Whereas the Sonic films are made by fans, for fans. They understand the source material, they understand what fans are interested in. They are why we've had a resurgence of Sonic for these last few years. Resurgence, I don't know how to speak. So in conclusion, Danny, I believe you're incorrect. Good day. Yesterday I found myself in a Nando's discussing Dream's recent tweets with a friend. I've not discussed a tweet made by that man with anyone since 2021. What's happening? Why is he going on the internet insulting other creators' fan bases? Good sir, yes, you can say that you helped give those creators the careers they have today. But in the end, those creators are better now because they no longer have to rely on you, and they haven't done for the past 3 years. The man's a weirdo and we all know it, yet people still support him for some reason. It makes it very difficult to be a fan of the MCYT community when we have weirdos like this. We had Wilbur, who ended up, we found out last year, he had sexually assaulted someone, basically. And now we have Dream being a weirdo. It's hard to be a fan of this community when we have people like this that make it so insufferable. Okay, that's me done being angry now. Good day. Okay, I've got more things to talk about on the Dream situation because I'm not done. Okay, he used the R word and then claimed it was okay because he's autistic. Not when you're using it as an insult, good sir. He claimed he never made a single penny off the Dream SMP. That's a lie, you didn't spend anything on the Dream SMP. Bad Boy Halo hosted the server. Now yes, he could have made more money if he streamed, but he refused to stream. And going off the fact he refused to stream, we sort of all realised he's a bad person because of this. Because, basically, his reasoning for never streaming on the SMP was he wanted people to know he was the villain. He wanted to appear that way, he didn't want anyone to see his perspective, because then people might have turned him into a hero. He wanted people to know he was a villain. No good person wants to be seen as a villain, whether it's on a Minecraft server or not. That man was mental, and the fact we didn't recognise it is stupid. Good day. So with TikTok most likely being banned on Sunday, I'd like to mention some of the US creators I've befriended on this platform, all of which are on different platforms if you want to follow them after their accounts will fade away into the void. They'll all be tagged in the caption as well. So yeah, let's just go over the creators. First off, we have Beulah. I've stitched his videos in the past. I've made points alongside him. I'll talk to him quite frequently, actually. We talk on Discord a lot. He's working on his own film, which I think I've mentioned before. Yeah, that's what he's trying to fund with TikTok, Patreon. He's on all the other platforms. He's got other links. I'm in his Discord server. Nice guy. Nice guy. Let's go on. Screen Hub Entertainment. Also a nice guy. He makes videos about films, TV shows, different things going on in media. Quite interesting. He provides a more positive viewpoint, which I like, because a lot of people who provide opinions on this kind of stuff are quite negative. So to see a more positive opinion for things is actually quite nice. It's less that I wanted to put Froggy on here, and more just that I felt obligated to, seeing as he was actually one of the first friends I made on this app. And we didn't even meet each other through TikTok. It was through Discord, based on another creator we knew, who's now a terrible person. But yeah, no, I just kind of felt obligated to put her a good day. On that Nando's trip I spoke about in a previous video, I spoke about the one controversy I've been in as a content creator, and I figure, seeing as TikTok's going away in the US tomorrow, and that creators had me blocked for nearly 3 years, what do you say? Should we talk about it? I think we should talk about it. Let's talk about it. So in 2020, I befriended a content creator. You know what, I'm going to name him. He's had me blocked on this app for years. He's deleted his Instagram. The only social media he's actually on now are TikTok and YouTube. I don't even think his Discord server's up anymore. Alright, so Prof.Sir, or as we called him, Professor. I had befriended this man, and I had joined his Discord server. I had worked on him on videos and live streams. I had interviewed him for my podcast a few times. Oh yeah, I used to have a podcast. Have I ever spoke about that on here? I don't think I have. I had used him as my content creator mentor. He was the person I went to when I needed questions answering. He was actually quite good, and he also wrote books. The one book I've read wasn't very good, but we'll ignore that for now. In fact, he's the reason why I know Froggy and Frank to this day. And that's probably the only good thing that man ever did. Alright, so one day in early 2022, about 3 months into the year, I got a message from a mutual friend of ours. I also got a message from her boyfriend. Upon reading these messages, I had found that that friend had been kicked from the Discord server, and she didn't know why. I think her boyfriend might have been kicked as well. He did nothing wrong, he was barely ever active. So I know, being the one in the Discord server who was closest to Professor, I'm only calling him Professor because I don't actually remember his actual name. If I knew his actual name, I'd say it, but I don't actually know. Right. So I messaged him like, mate, what the hell's going on? He tried to explain it to me like, oh, she kept breaking the server rules. No, she didn't. What? She swore a few times, and she used the venting channel as it was intended. Oh yeah, we had a venting channel to talk about problems you were having in life. He then claimed, oh, that channel was never meant to be used for that actual stuff. It was just meant to be used as a little funny ha-ha meme thing. I know what it was meant to be used for. That was my idea. So, me and basically most of the people in his Discord server who are active regularly spoke out against him. Me and Froggy posted a thing on our Instagram story saying that we no longer wish to be affiliated with him, and that we'd take down any work with him we have. He's still not deleted any of the videos we're in, by the way. Alright, and once I posted that, he DM'd me. This is just a photo of the conversation we had. There's so much more, but I can't be bothered to actually show everything just because there's so many screenshots and so many other sides of the story, but alright, you get what I'm saying. That was nearly 3 years ago now. He has still not deleted any of the stuff any of us are in. I don't know what he's done about the fan art he was sent by us. He hadn't taken it down years ago. I imagine he still hasn't. He now acts like we never existed. Fun times, and you know, 3 years later, I was 14 when I dealt with this. I'd have to argue with a grown man. He was quite immature, I'd say. But it's been 3 years. I am now 17. I understand. I'm never going to get in contact with him again. Those videos are never getting deleting, and I'm mostly fine with that. In fact, no, I am fine with that. I would just like to say, though, I'm kind of glad I don't have to deal with that anymore. That man was narcissistic. He did not have... He was a terrible author. He was a terrible content creator. All of his humour came from us, and his videos took a drastic downfall once we left the community. And I'd like to say, to all the content creators I've befriended since then, who are also grown adults, thank you for not being like him. Thank you for not also being terrible people. To my American audience, if this is the last time I get to say this, good day. No, because there is actually a reason for this. Reason being, when they were originally making the film, they wanted it to be a bit more adult-orientated for the people who watched it as kids and were now adults. So, originally that scene was supposed to cut to them in the mystery machine smoking weed. But then later down the line in production, they decided... In fact, it wasn't even that later. It was like... No, because it was quite early in production. They decided they wanted to make it for kids. So, they changed that so it cut to a scene of them eating. But they never redid that scene or removed it or removed the smoking post. So it looks like they're smoking weed because technically they were. I don't know if that counts as a film mistake or a nice bit of trivia. Either way, good day.